Hey guys, it's lovely to have your company here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. I hope you are well, and if you are watching this as and when I have uploaded it, I hope you've had a lovely week. I'm recording this on a Friday evening. It's been a very busy couple of weeks, hence why I've been a little bit delayed in getting this tutorial done when it comes to the craft box, and it's been a very busy day as well. So I am currently filming this at 9:30 on a Friday evening. Been on Crafters TV all day today, got a lot of prep done in between shows, and as soon as I finished, I was just lagging a bit, but it was just a little bit too early to be lagging. So I went round to the gym, for an hour, come back. Now I've got my energy, so I thought before I sit down, relax, chill in my comfies with a cup of tea, with all the candles on, let's dive in and let's get another tutorial filmed. I did post on my Facebook page the other day that I was planning on doing this tomorrow, i.e. Saturday. However, there is something else that I want to film instead for here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel, which is not about the craft boxes. Because if you aren't aware, my plan is, when it comes to my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel, to at least get 2 tutorials up a week. One is always going to be about our previously released craft boxes, and then the other one will be something else. New Crafter's Companion products, or what I love to do and what you guys love seeing, that's older Crafter's Companion products that you've got but you can no longer buy, and then also just cross-contaminating. No, that's completely wrong. Definitely not cross-contaminating, cross-pollinating when it comes to using old and new. So for those that have since the last video subscribed, thank you so much. It's always lovely to have you guys follow me here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel, and for those as well that do give me the thumbs up after the video, then that is greatly appreciated. And if you leave a comment, I really do appreciate it, and I read every single one of them. If you do hit that bell notification, then thank you as well. That just means every time I post a tutorial, you're going to get an alert then just to say there's one ready for you to watch. But this one all about craft box. Now when it comes to the craft box, we're going to go to number 26. So when it comes to number 26, this is all about our decorative outline dies. Now my one has had a batter in that there's very little in it. I've used all the card blanks, not that it matters because I would be using my own anyway. But this was number 26, decorative outline dies, and you got a minimum of 24 cards in here to be making. Now when it comes to the elements inside, there was over 200 elements, and you've got all about the outline die. So we've got our block cardstock, you've got your butterfly die, you've got your dragonfly die that works in conjunction with the stamps, you've got some gems, you've got an embossing folder, die cut sentiments, and then you also got some vellum, coloured vellum, and then you got the main outline die, and that is the one that we are going to be using when it comes to this tutorial. So I'm going to set that to the side for now. I'm not going to need them or them or them. I do need it. I'm going to use the bumblebee and the die that came with the bumblebee. I'm not going to use vellum for this, but let's use some. So I've got an idea of colours that I'm going to use. So I'm thinking the backdrop. Oh, I do have another blue. Phew. I'm going to use this blue. Yes, you get black in there, but I'm actually just going to use my own black matte cardstock. I'm going to pop all these bits in, and then we can get started. Now, when it comes to this set, I'm going to do a 5x7 card blank, but I do much prefer top fold 5x7 card blanks, or all my card blanks I do prefer to be top fold. So I've taken a 7x7 card blank, and then let's cut that at 5 inch. I'm just making sure that's definitely 7 inch, trim that a little bit. So I've now got my 5x7 card blank with that top fold. So let's move these bits out of the way, and let's start off with the initial main matting layer. So I've got some black card, and I've also got some of our white card. So I'm going to take my white card and I'm going to cut this to, let's do 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and then I'm going to give that a very, very fine black matting layer. So just over 4 3/4, just over 6 3/4. So that's going to give me a really nice fine black matting layer, which is then going to go on to my card blank. And then, actually should have started with the blue, not that it matters. So that white was 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So I'm going to come to 4.5 by 6.5. And that's going to go into there. So I've got now my perfect mats and layers for us to then build on top of. So let's set that one out the way. While we're here, let's do our insert. So black, I'm going to do 4.5 by 6.5. And then my white, I'm going to do 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. If you're new to my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel and you've not seen any previous videos yet, when it comes to my inserts, what I like to do, until I know who I'm going to give them to, I won't put in an insert. But I still want to have something there ready to go. So what I'll do is, I'll do a matte and layer insert. So I don't tend to do a loose leaf insert. I'll do a matte and layer, like this one here. Now when it comes to the colour of my matte and layer, and this is just personal choice, you can do any colour you want, but when it comes to the matte and layer of the insert, I will always do that whatever the darkest colour I've used on the front. So out of all of these, the darkest colour I've used here is going to be the black. So the black is what's going to be my matte and layer on the inside. Of course, you can do it blue if you want to, you can do it any colour if you want, but it just pulls and travels the eye from the front of the card to the insert inside of the card. And then once I know who I'm giving it to, I can stamp my insert in, or I can print it out on Microsoft Word, which I tend to do, and then matte and layer it onto here. It just means that the initial decorative matte and layer is already done, ready for me to then put my insert in, whether it's stamped or whether it is printed, and then write it and then send it to the recipient. So that's the initial layer. So actually, let's get our tape on to start with. I'm not going to stick it together, but let's pop our tape on so this part is all done. So this is Outline Dies. It's box number 26 from our older craft kit boxes, and this is definitely one that you'll no longer be able to find. Certainly not from our website or our affiliated websites such as Hobby Maker, QVC UK, HSN America. You're not going to be able to find them. You might, if you're lucky, find them on the auction sites or Prime, anything like that. But the whole purpose of these videos I like to do is so that I encourage you to dig them out. And then even if you've not got this one, but you've got Outline dies, then replicate what I'm doing, but just use the dies that you've got at home. So I've got my mats and layers. Did I do my insert? No, I didn't, did I? So let's add that on. What I will do is let's layer and stick in my insert while we're here. So work our way around, use your own adhesion of choice. We know by now where applicable, certainly when home, when crafting, when prepping for shows, when I've got the time, I do prefer double-sided tissue tape. It sticks to's, of course. We do or did have our own, which was finger lift tissue tape, and I've never hidden the fact that I'm not a fan of finger lift tissue tape. I prefer edge to edge double-sided tissue tape, and that's what this is. So let's pop these on. All the adhesives that I'm using, as always, when I'm at home are from Sticks 2, just through in Gateshead, about 45 minutes away from me. Everything else is Crafter's Companion, unless I state otherwise. So let's put the insert in. So that's the insert done, ready to go. Right, that out. I tell you what, let's just stick these together, because I know that I'm definitely wanting to go with these layers. So let's stick them together while we're here. So I'm going to run these ones through layer by layer, double-sided tape. Now within this layer, you could of course emboss it if you want to, with your texture embossing folders. Add a little bit of ink, spritz if you want to. But because our floral outline dies are going to be the focal point, I don't really want to take the eye away from the top design of the outline dies. So let's stick that one together, and then that one, and then we can move on to the craft box. So overlay that one into here, press that in. Now let's dive in. So what we can then do is, if I then take my die, now for this, because we're going to be colouring in with alcohol pens, I do prefer to use the double-sided adhesive sheets. Now if you've got ours, you can use ours. Using Sticks 2 is exactly the same. And the reason being is, if you use tacky glue or your dots, you can still get a teeny little bit of adhesive that just pops out from the side. And even although it's an alcohol pen we're using, it can resist off the adhesive. So this is why I do prefer to use double-sided tape or double-sided sheets for what we're about to do. So let's take another piece of our white cardstock. Now I'm going to cut that one, and then I'm going to, actually I've already got one done because I was not trialing it, but I was just trying to think beforehand what exactly I was going to do. So I'm just going to roughly chop that around, and then we're going to peel it back in. Now these are the bits that I say keep them, because when you sometimes see me doing decoupage or something where the backend's already taken off the foam pads or taken off the tape, this is where I've sat them on, these non-stick backing sheets. They're also good for doing your own little glue dots or doing your own little dewdrops. Just do your drops, let them dry, and then they just peel off. So that's where I get my sheets from. So then we're just going to then bring our card into place and then press that in. So we're just going to press, and then I'm just going to trim this excess off, but I'm trimming on the card, not trimming off the adhesive, otherwise that will stick to my scissors. So we've now got our cardstock with the double-sided sheet on the back. So let's bring in our outline die. We're going to place that on with the double-sided adhesive sheet on the back. And I'm just going to use my Sticks 2 masking tape to tape that down. Now what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to go in with my base plate. I'm then going to go in with my metal shim. I'm then going to go in with my card and my die, frosted, magnetic and top plate. And the reason that I'm doing that is because, yes, we're cutting into our cardstock. We've actually got 3 layers. We've got our cardstock. On the base we've got that non-stick release sheet, but in the middle we've got a layer of sticky adhesive. So I just like to make sure that we get a crisp cut by using the metal shim so it die's cutting all the way through. So we're going to then move that one out the way, cut to perfection. But what you will find is a lot of the pieces will stay in more than they do if you don't have double-sided sheet on the back, because it's that sandwiched layer of sticky adhesive that's holding the dies into place. So they're cut, they're just, the layer of adhesive is just holding them in. So let's carefully prise that out, and I can pop all these little bits out later on. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to then pop all these bits out. So as I said, they are all cut perfectly. It's just the sticky sandwich layer that's holding them in. So pop out all these little bits. So all of these, just hold and push. You can use your die release tool, but I do certainly when it comes to these layers where you've got the sticky sheets. It's just a bit better just using the pokey tool. So let's pop these out. Now what you would do is you would do this again. Now I've already got one done, because as I said before, just in my mind working out what I was going to do, I came to this idea which I thought, yeah, that's going to work. So I'd already had one layer cut. Otherwise you're just going to do it twice. Get that last little bit out here. There we go, and I think that's all the bits. That one there, we are, all cut. So let's discard all of these bits, and then we're going to bring in some Neenah cardstock. So bringing in our Neenah card, let's just trim that down first, and then actually let's stick this on first. So you're going to peel the backing off, taking that off the full back, and then if there is any little stragglers, we're just going to pop them out. You can see that I've got one in here. There we go. So now let's pop that onto our card. I'm going to leave, not essential, but roughly about ½ an inch at the left hand side and along the bottom, and we're going to match that with our guillotine. So press that in, give that a really good press, and then let's bring in our guillotine. So let's bring that in, give it a light trim. Same here. I'm going to come into here. I could afford to trim it just a tiny little bit more. There. And then there. I'm going to trim a little bit here. And here. Teeny bit more and a teeny little bit more. So essentially this layer is now 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. So you can just see the outline of the outline die, and that's it being stuck onto Neenah card. And that looks quite smart actually, because it looks as though it's been embossed, heat embossed, or a folder. So you could play with your techniques that way. While I've got the guillotine out, let's take another bit of black cardstock and we're going to do the same. We're going to give that a very fine black matting layer. So we're going to go just over 3 3/4 by just over 5 3/4. And let's see, yeah, that's fine. I just need to trim the width slightly. Like so. There we go. So that will then sit on the top there. So we're going to colour it in now. We're going to colour it in with our alcohol pens. Just to say this was the other one that I've already done. So I've already got that one. So let's bring it in. Oh, excuse me. And then I'm going to bring in my tri-blends that I've got here. So let's start off with the, so we're going to use hydrangea. So we're going to use hydrangea, we're going to use the orange, or we're going to use the burnt orange and normal orange. I'll go through the colours properly just shortly. So let's take, we're going to use the jade green. We're also going to use, if I can find the true blue, we're going to use true blue. Also going to use dark red. Going to use dull green. I've got the hydrangea, got magenta. So that's it. So that's the main ones. I'm going to bring in also a white gel pen. We're going to use a white gel pen too. So, true blue blend, dark red blend, dull green blend, orange blend, burnt orange blend, jade green blend, and hydrangea blend. So that's the colours that we're going to use. So let's bring in a bit of cardstock and then we're going to colour. What we're going to do is actually I need light yellow as well. Light yellow. So some of them we will do a little bit of shading, others we won't. We'll just go in with block colours. So let's do the hydrangea. Now the reason that we've done another one is because that will stick over the top of this one. So therefore, don't worry about going over the edge because no one's going to see it. Think of them as like bumper bars. Think of them as heat embossed lines, but of course they've not been heat embossed, they're just die cut lines. So we're going to go in and then in, and then we're going to colour and blend like we would do if we are just colouring and blending a stamped image. Now I do have one of these completely done, so depending on time, colouring sometimes the one I'll already have a pre-prepped layer, only because of the time that it can sometimes take. So we're just colouring and blending, of course using my tri-blends if you haven't gathered, and just cherry picking. So if I do that tulip, there's that tulip. This works really well as well if you do it onto black. So let's go in with the light tone, and then we're going in with the dark tone. Well, that was the mid tone. And then we're going to blend out. No, it wasn't. That was the dark tone. I'm getting all confused with myself. We'll go over the colours again just in a second and blend that out. So we're starting off with the light tone. So because these are small areas, I'm going to do a few at once. If there's big areas, then just do a few sections at once. So we're now going to go into the base with the dark tone. We're then going to go in now and blend that out with the mid-tone. And then we're going to go back into the light tone and blend that out. Now you can see there how you start to get a really fab blend once the alcohol evaporates. So lay down that light tone first. And everyone does alcohol colouring differently. Now, yeah, it will depend on the alcohol pens that you're using, but even things such as Tri-Blends, Classics, Illustrator, us on the team will use them and apply them differently. Debbie R will do it differently to what myself and Debbie Fisher does, potentially. Sarah will do it differently. Leanne, Leanne will do it, or I do it the way Leanne does it. So I'm sure Leanne does it this way. So everyone's different and there's no right or wrong way. Just find your comfort and what you and how you get a good blend. That's what's important. So whether you do it the way that I do it, Leanne does it, or Sarah, or Debbie, you do it your comfort way. So going in with the dark. Blend out. And we'll move to the next colour in a moment. And then back in with the light to blend that out. And the more that you cover the image, the kind of messier it starts to look, because you're going over the outer edge, but it starts to look cool by the end. Let's then take, that was the hydrangea, I need the magenta. So the magenta, I'm going to go into the centre, there and there. Let's go in with the dark tone, blend out, and blend with the light. You can always go back a little bit more darkness. And then let's go in with the orange, no, burnt orange. So we're going in with the burnt orange, and essentially we're doing exactly the same with what we've done within the hydrangea petals and the tulip. So I'm going in with the light orange, and then I'm going to come along with the dark orange just to the base, tiny little bit, in with the mid, circular motions to blend that out, and then into the light once again. And already you can start to see how that starts to blend. Let's go into the middle of the sunflower. Now really small areas, obviously it can be tricky to get that blend of depth. They just, you know, just try. So I'm going to go in here just at the base of each section. Very little, but just do what you can. Blend out with a mid-tone, like so, and then back with the light blend out. And the whole lot is exactly the same. Very repetitive. The only difference is the colours. Now what I'm going to do here, so what I find when it comes to the light yellow blend or even the citrus blend, I don't find there's actually much of a difference when it comes to the shades. It's not really noticeable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the light yellow, the mid yellow, but I'm not going to use the dark yellow. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to come along and I'm going to use the dark of the orange. So not the burnt orange. That's what we used for that was the burnt orange. This is just the orange. So I'm going to use the light, the medium of the yellow, and then I'm going to use the dark of the orange. So let's go in here with the light yellow. And then let's go into the dark of the orange. Just a tiny, tiny little bit. And then we're going to go into the mid yellow. And we're really going to blend that out. We're really going to let the alcohol do its work and start to saturate it and blend out. And then we're going to go back into the light yellow and finish off, and we're going to colour the whole lot in to really start to evaporate the alcohol and for that to really start to blend in, so you've got the shading round the outer edge. Try to think of different colours so we kind of cover all bases. Let's do the butterfly, really simple because it's tiny, tiny detail. What I've done in the one that I've already sat and coloured the other night is just gone in with the light tone, and that's it. No blend, no nothing, because this really is difficult to get the nib in there and blend. And we're then going to, so if we go back to the light yellow, so we're going to go into the light yellow, the orange, back to the mid yellow to blend out, and then back into the light yellow to really start to blend that out. So we're just getting that highlight you can kind of see here. Then let's go in with the green here. So let's do the stalks. So we'll do that one. And then we're going to go to the dark, dull green, and we're just going to go top and bottom. Blend out with the mid. And then blend out with the light. We're then going to do, let's do the leaves. So we'll do a few of the leaves. Go down into here, the light tone. Go in with the dark tone. Back in with the mid-tone to blend out. And then in with the light to blend that out. Now, I would do the same with all the other leaves. With that flower there, I would do the same as that one up there. With these ones here, I would do the same when it comes to the hydrangea. So the only ones I've not done yet is the pot. So let's go in with the jade green blend. And whole lot of the flower pot I would do within the jade green blend. So go with the light, and then I'm going to go with the dark, left and right. I'm going to blend that out, and then go back in with the light and blend that out. Carry on all the way down, and then what we're going to be left with is just a way into the background. So that's going to be our sky. So everything else that's remaining is going to be the blue. So we're going to work our way round and colour in the remaining area with blue. So we're going to end with the light blue, and then I'm going to go in with the dark down there, blend that out, and then blend that out, and just keep going until it's all blended. And then you would carry on the same, doing all the other areas that are remaining. And then once you've done all of those areas that are remaining, the other thing I would do, and this is going to be no shock, ice grey 2, and I would just go round that outer edge. So round the whole lot, all the way round with ice grey 2. And then once we've done that one, that is going to look like that. So that's what it's going to look like. Nicely coloured, nicely blended, but a little bit messy because we've got the colouring over the lines. And this is when the additional die cut is going to come into play. So set that out the way. And then the only other thing that we can then do just now is let's take the bumblebee. So we're going to stamp the bumblebee, and then where's my block? Here it is. I'm going to use our Noir Black. Just going to come down into here. So we've got our bumblebee ready to cut out. So let's cut that one out. If I can find it, here we go. And there we are. So let's just snip that off, and then let's overlap our bumblebee die. So let's get that into position. Let's take my mini and let's file it through. So we take out the bumblebee, and we've got our stamped bumblebee with our die cut as well. So I'm going to come in, let's go in with the yellow. So I'm going to go in with the light yellow, like so. I'm going to go back to the orange, but this time with the orange, I'm going to use the light orange at each side. Little blend. And blend out. Then that way, we've got our cute little bumblebee, a little bit of shading, And then let's go with the ice grey again. My tri-blend's running out, so I'm just going to have to go to my Illustrator. And we're going to work our way around. But on the wings, I'm going to colour the wings in. We're just going to go straight over the top. We're going to then work our way around. Now, as always, where possible, I'll always add and link the items in the description of this video of what I've used. There's going to be very little from this video that I can link because there's very little that's still available. But I shall have a look and see. And if there is anything in the description that I can link, then I will do. We'll maybe have some dry blends and that we can link. That includes the items from Sticks 2 as well. So cut the bumblebee in black because we're going to do a drop shadow. Let's bring in my glue. I've not used this for a few days, so let's see if we're still going to be good to go. Oh, just nice. So let's fill in. I've got a little splodge there, so I'm just going to take that off. And then let's do our drop shadow with our bumblebee. Now, before we start to assemble, I need a sentiment strip as well. So of course we'll need to stick I'll need to recut a black layer for this one. We'll stick that on, the bumblebee will go on, and I'll need to stick this outer die over the top, but we need a sentiment. So let's take a piece of the white card. And now when it comes to my sentiments, I already know which one I'm wanting to use, and that is Smile down here. Now it's not a tall sentiment, it's not even 3/4 of an inch. So if I do 3/4 of an inch, which is going to be fine, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it so that it's the same length of the die cut top. While we're here, let's take some blue. So let's cut that at 1 inch for now. So it's just under 4 inch. Yep, that's fine. And then we're going to do a tiny, tiny black layer. So that's the 1 inch. So let's go just over 1 inch. Just under 4. And notice I'm not doing my matting layer all the way round. My matting layer is only going to be top and bottom, which I like to do. I think it's quite effective. And there we go, a really fine black matting layer. So that's going to go onto there. So let's take our stamp. Let's take our stamping platform. I'm actually just going to take Hunky Dory's one that I've got because it's such a small sentiment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop them in the measurement so I can get like the center point. So the center point in the middle there. So let's align. I'm going to go face on for a moment because I'm going to have to stick my head in the way. And if you've seen my Instagram story the other day as of when I'm filming this tutorial, you will know that the grey hairs are coming through on the beard. So they won't be far in the hair. They're probably already there. And you don't want to see that. So let's pop that on. Just using the alcohol proof stamp that in. There we go. We've got smile. Let's take that out, and move that out the way. Sometimes I find the smaller stamping platforms are a little bit easier than our large ones. So now that we've done that one, let's go back with our ice grey 2 to work our way around. And then we can then finish off this card. Let's work our way in, like so. And then let's stick the... Oh, I've stamped it onto the wrong one. Craig, you bloody Wally. Never mind. I can just trim that little by little until I've got it the length I need that to be. I'm just going to take my tape runner for this one. So we're going to pop that onto the blue. Actually, I should have gone in with my tacky glue. Gives me more wiggle room, but hey ho, done it now. So let's stick that on into there. This time I'm definitely going to use the tacky glue because I'm going on to that small black layer. So that's going to go onto there. There we go. Let's just give that a slight tidy and trim. There. And then there. And we've got all of our layers now. So the last thing to do, black card, is do a matting layer for that one. So that's just under 4 inch. So let's go just over 4. And that can go just over 6. Let's have a look and see. There we go. Yep, that's fine. You can tell I'm waiting till the very end before we actually finish it by sticking the layer over the top to get that wow effect. Well, you might not think it's wow, but I do. I think it's such a cool technique and effect. So let's matte and layer this onto our black card. And then we'll do the overlayer. So let's stick that on to there. And press in there. So you can see what it would look like if we kept it as it is. It does work, a little bit rustic, but it would work. Like so that, but we don't. We want to really make that stand out, or as they say, pop. So let's take the other one. So white card, double-sided adhesive sheet on the back, exactly the same as what we've done with that one. We've done it twice. This one we stuck onto Neenah and then coloured in with our alcohol pens. This one we're doing nothing but sticking it over the top. You can do it with your water-based pens, aqua pens. The only difference is you would stick it onto your watercolour card. So that's the only difference. So it's still doable. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to overlay that bang over the top. That hides all of the detail, outer line detail that has ink on it, and all that we see is the colour image underneath. Look at that, how cool is that? What I should just say when it comes to this one, just in its slight sections, I've just gone in with a white gel pen and just done little wispy lines just to create an accent, a highlight line. So I've done that all the way throughout. But how much better does that look? So that's what it would look like when it's all coloured in. But then once you pop that additional die cut over the top, and then you can go in with your glossy highlights if you want to, glues and glitters if you want to. Lots of things that you can do now with this one. But we're going to go in, we're going to lift it up on foam pads. And these are quite deep, these foam pads. These are 4 mil in depth. And then I want to put my sentiment on foam pads, but I want that to be quite low. I don't want that to be overly thick or overly high, I mean. So I'm just going to go into the foam on a roll. Sticks to is foam on a roll, but it's only about 1 mil in depth. Or I think this is actually 2 mils. But it's a lot shallower than that one. And as I do always say, your layers with foam pads are always optional. If you want to keep them flat, then of course you can do. You don't have to put them all on foam pads. So let's pop this together and finish off. So let's take these off here, here, and then here. So that's going to go into there. Press that in. Let's take that one and that one, and then that I'm going to calm down. So I don't want to cover the whole of the flower bowl. And I do love going like panel sentiments. So actually let's go there. And then let's take our bumblebee and let's take our foam pads. Put that onto the back. If we then peel and prise that out there, and that can go here. You know what I'm going to do is let's take our petals and let's take our tool. There's my replacement heads for this one. We'll add some of the petals just at the side to finish off. I'm just going to bring in one of my trays. Actually, let's do the blue. Now I'm just using the tiny ones. And then let's do 3. So dot, dot, dot. And then let's pick that up there. So this tray, in case anyone's wondering, it's just from like an old Diamond Dots kit that I had. So maybe you do diamond dots, maybe you do crystal art. So this is just the trays that you get that are kind of left over. Let's put that in. One stuck. There we go. We've got 3 there, 3 there, and I tell you what, let's do 1, 2, and 3. Let's do 1, 2, and 3. And then we're just going to then neaten that up. There we go. Budge that in. It says, there we are. There we go. Do you know something? I really, really love the look of that. I think that's come out an absolute treat. And although I already had one of the layers coloured, I didn't know exactly how it was going to turn out. I knew it would hopefully look nice because I love that technique. I think it's so cool. It really, really is effective. You can do that with any of your outline dies, but it just so happens that this is from our older craft box, box number 26, and it's called the Decorative Outline dies. And then there we go. So if I come a little bit closer for you to see, and there we go. So using a selection of our tri-blends, and everything there is from the craft box. I just use my own black card, my own white card, and then of course my colouring mediums. So I hope you've enjoyed that one. Box number 26, outline dies, and it's something that you can create at home as well. Change the colours if you want, mix it up, do a slightly smaller card if you want, do a larger card, go in with your glossy highlights, your glitter glues, all of these different things that you can do. You don't necessarily have to stick to colouring mediums, but enjoy. If you do, of course, replicate anything I do, whether you do exactly as I've done or whether you change it, if you post them on social, do make sure that you give me a tag. Always love to see it. If you tag me on Instagram, I'll always endeavour to share it also into my stories on Instagram. So all across the board, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and here, Craiglairdcc. Rightio, until the next time, next week, for the next edition of our craft box, I will see you then. Right, have a lovely weekend if you are watching this in real time, and enjoy. Doodles.